What's up, y'all? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of No Fouls Given, presented by PrizePicks. Go download PrizePicks today and check out with the code NFG to get a dope little promotion. Of course, I'm joined by Paul Pierce, Danny Green. As always, we got a dope show in store for you guys. Let's get right into it. Jimmy Buckets, guys. Tore his ACL, out for the season. He was having an incredible game against Miami. He dropped like 17 in his first 20 minutes.
I had him for, 24 and a half over?
Screwed your PrizePicks bet up. Not
over.
mine or P's, but we'll get into that later.
First and foremost, man, prayers up for Jimmy, man. We hope he recovers speedy and help man. So that's tough.
Yeah, he's obviously going to miss the rest of the season, probably a good chunk of next season as well.
It's not true.
Oh, well, yeah, talk to us about that. You've had very speedy ACL recoveries. What do you think?
His contract situation is a lot different from mine at the time.
Okay.
So mine was I signed a 1-1. And it was like they wouldn't do a team option or player option because it would give me veto rights in trade. So they didn't want to do any option. I said, y'all can make it a team option. And it's like, no. So just made it a 1-1, non-guaranteed. So when I told my knee, I wasn't sure I was going to get picked up.
Got you.
And then if I did get picked up, which I did, I got traded to Memphis. They picked it up for the first half, and I had to make it to January for the rest of it to be guaranteed. But for me, it's like, I didn't say I had to rush back, but in order for me to show people that I'm still capable,
got you.
When free agency was coming up that next summer, I had to be able to try to play. So I was trying to get back as soon as possible. And I had a double ligament tear, so it was ACL and LCL. I got back in 8 months.
Got you.
Joe Ingles, the fastest to do it with the ACL, he did 7 months. So if you do 7 months from now, instead of Jimmy even 8 months from now, that's the first month. You do 8, that's September, October.
Sure.
By October, that'll give him like 8 or 9 months. He could be back.
He could be back for the start of the season.
He could be back. If he actually attacked his rehab the way he, if he wasn't over, he's guaranteed money. If he can take his time, of course. But if he really wanted to get back by the start of the season.
You're saying he could be back within the calendar year at the very least.
Oh, for sure. I mean, absolutely. He should be back no later than Christmas. Like, Christmas is a comfortable
time.
10 to 11 months. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so he'll be back
that's
next
11
year.
months for him down there. Because it's January, right?
Yeah.
Christmas is like 11 months. So he could be back very comfortably by 11 months. I don't see why, if Jimmy does what he's supposed to do, be back at least 8 or 9 months, which is like October, November.
Okay. So, how old were you?
I was 35.
Okay.
He's 36. So
yeah.
I was 34, turning for 35. He's 36. So, yeah. I had no major injuries until that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I said shout out to my PTs, man. Sean Johnson, Mike Roncarati. They was maniacal, and it helped push me. But I was in that every day. You got to – starts with trying to learn how to walk again. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to jog and then jump and all that shit. But it's a very vulnerable – you got to learn how to – you got to get help to use the bathroom, help to take showers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's an everyday mental grind more than it's physical.
Yeah, that's what I want to know because I've never had no major injury. So, Danny, can you talk about what's the mental hurdles you had, being that you was older too?
Yeah, bro.
Because you probably started thinking damn, is it worth it? Is it
exactly.
retirement? You know what I'm saying?
All those perspectives came into play.
You know what I'm saying?
So at 35, I was like, shit, is this it for me? I didn't want it to be it. I was still hooping. I was playing well. I had a good little. It was actually playing against Jimmy in Miami, Philly-Miami series. We was getting smoked in Miami, but in Philly we was playing pretty well. I was like, damn, I might opt out, get another new deal, another 2-year deal, something like that. Could have played for another 3 solid years, but after that, I was like, people gonna start looking at me as damaged. I'm already older.
Yeah.
Looking at me as damaged goods. It's gonna take a year. I was already damn, I'm gonna be out for 12 months.
Yeah.
And then I started doing research and talking to other people yo, if you do this the right way, you can get back sooner. So it started giving me more hope and positivity. But it was a daily grind, bro.
Man.
It was a daily grind mentally. Anyway, getting up and showing up. Half the battles is showing up every day.
Right.
8, 9 hour. I'll be in there 7, 8 a.m.
9-hour rehab.
Shit, sometimes, but at least 6. So 8 a.m. Sometimes I wouldn't get home till 3 or 4. So 4 hours. So that's a good 8 hour. Sometimes 7, 8 hours. But at least 5 to 6. I would say the minimum was 5 or 6 hour rehabs. But some days I'll be at 8 a.m. Mind you, I took my time though, but I wouldn't get home till sometimes 3, 4 in the afternoon. Yeah.
So, Paul, what do you think this does for Golden State? Because to me, the guy was obviously the second best player on the team. just playing really well. He provided, like, outside of Steph, somebody you could give the ball to and bend the defense. Like, the defense would have to send help depending on who's guarding Jimmy. He's kind of the only guy that seemed like a legitimate threat.
He changed their dynamic because he was a guy that got to the free throw line for them
Yes.
as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did a lot of perimeter stuff. He was more balance of mid-range and to the basket and getting fouls. And he was more of a, like, Draymond is a good quarterback. He is more of a threat offensively. Not saying that Draymond, who's been shooting it well this year and scoring more, but you didn't guard Draymond like a scorer. You have to guard
Jimmy, you got to take it
respect,
seriously.
Like, you got to respect his, his scoring ability.
Man, I think, when I look at the Warriors before this injury, they were like playing a team right now. So I just think with this injury, and hopefully Jimmy comes back healthy, but then again, he's a year older, coming back next year, dealing with an injury. I think this officially closes the window, any kind of window that Golden State would have had on a championship. Because, like, even though, they're a playing team, I saw a playing team get to the finals. And as long as you got Steph and Dre and the coaching staff there, you always felt like there was, a Cinderella
They were a
team,
threat
to like kind of make a run. But I just think with this injury, I think it really officially kind of closes the window.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a little bit of hope. You have to very much right the ship with the Kuminga thing first. And in order to get the value you want back for him, again, you have to hope that Steph is playing at this level next year. You got one more year maybe. And it all depends on if Jimmy is attacking his real comeback. So if you have Steph and Jimmy, and if you get trade pieces for Kuminga.
So you're talking about next year. But this year we can close the chapter on something.
Unless Kuminga is like, all right, I'm going to be a professional. I'm going to watch everything. I'm just going to go out here.
Jonathan Kuminga become like.
He had 30 in the playoffs before.
Okay.
We can't say he's not capable.
Sure.
He can score the ball. He's a younger version, to me, of Jimmy. Now, he's not a smart high IQ with crafty of getting fouls and free throws, but he has a good feel for the game in my eyes of knowing, like, to be at the right place at the right time to score the basket. Like, he'll knock down a jumper when you need it. He's going to get a dunk. Like, he can also run. You need some youth and athleticism in today's league. So depending on matchups, they're not winning a championship. Depending on matchups, they can get to maybe a second or third round. Maybe second round. I don't know about third. Third will be tough. But I think they could win the playoff series if Kuminga and you have Podziemski coming out, if he could play like the way, Buddy, Al Horford, like those guys show up and play well.
That's a big ask. I mean, you're telling a guy who hasn't played in 15 games.
I know, 16.
He got nine
Pippen.
DMPs. But he's only, 20? How old is he?
I know, but, like, you don't just jump on the NBA court. I don't care who you are after missing, like,
9 games. He had 9 DMPs, 9 straight DMPs.
I mean,
that's tough.
Like, and then work your way into he's almost going to have to play at an all-star level for them.
It's January.
I'm not holding my breath on the Kuminga comeback story. It's not just his ability. I'm not saying that the guy doesn't have talent.
I'm not saying. I don't think
I
he's going
wouldn't
to do
say
it. I'm
that.
saying if he actually does it, that's the only way. But I don't see that happening.
What I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying that's just highly unlikely is that, first of all, Shams just put out a report that the situation between Kuminga and Steve Kerr is untenable. Let's rewind, because I want the listeners to get when you see these reports, you got to realize what camps is coming out of. Remember,
it's probably his agent.
You guys will remember, Shams also reported last year that Jonathan Kuminga is losing faith in Steve Kerr. Okay, so we know Steve Kerr didn't leak to Shams that his own players losing faith in him. That would be him saying he's not good at his job.
Yeah.
So we know he didn't do that. He didn't diss himself in the press.
Came from the Kuminga camp.
Came from the Kuminga camp. So now when Shams is saying that the relationship is, quote, fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
It's severed.
It's a big if.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's the thing. And that's before you talk about style of play and just the opportunities that Kuminga has had. And I can understand the Kuminga camp saying, oh, we didn't get a long leash and it's hard to play looking over your shoulder. Cool. In your opportunities, you haven't proven that you can be a trustworthy and really good player for this team.
To Steve Kerr, anyway.
I've never seen nothing like this. Like, I've never been in a locker room in all my years at NBA to where you have a player who's relationship with the coach is fractured beyond repair.
Especially a young guy like that.
Especially a young talent
Yeah.
like that. But even like older guys, I done seen coaches damn near about to fight players. The next day they cool and then argue.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard of no situation like this, a fractured beyond repair relationship. You don't like who else in the league can you think of to where somebody has a fractured relationship with the coach right now to where you're like they just don't get it.
Nah.
Like even when Jimmy was doing that in Miami, he was still playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So
I don't think it was just Spo. I think it was more. Usually it's front office or they have a disagreement with extension problems with GM.
yeah, that has something to do with
So-
some bread or something. But like, damn.
Another thing, Logan Murdoch, a former colleague of mine at The Ringer, Bay Area guy, pretty well connected with the team. He's talked to people around the situation, and he said, look, Draymond, Steph, Jimmy, they don't really have a problem with Kuminga. Conveniently, those are the only 3 players on the team who make more money than him.
Yeah.
And the other guys who are playing, who are contributing, and looking at this guy's attitude, and it's like you don't even hoop when you play, and and the organization paid you $24.5 million this summer. That's way more than we making. And there's a feeling of not really feeling this dude.
So they have another avenue of hope. They have 2 weeks to trade him.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
And you hope that you get something good in return.
I don't know how you get something good for a guy that's like.
Again, so
like,
my biggest thing is like, if I'm a GM, which I'm not.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I know how to run an organization greatly, but I'm not trading guys just to get off of them. Like I want to get
I
back
feel
in
you.
return. So it's like if I want to get back what I want in return, I got to make sure he is.
So you're
at
just
some
gonna
mark.
keep this toxic situation going forever.
I don't know. This one's tough.
Yeah.
This one's. I'm just saying in general. Like if it's a situation where I can try to find a way to get that player's stock up, it's like all right,
Sure.
look, we've been professional. We need you to hoop. You know, and we'll get you where you want to go. I know you want to be traded. We want to move you, but the only way to do that is if you hoop.
Here's the problem with that. So when I was younger, I remember guys, me in my neighborhood, we would trade shit.
Yeah.
Like sneakers, polo hoodies.
Collaterals. Yeah,
We would trade. You got a pair of pennies. I got a pair of Barclays. Let's trade. You got this. We would trade. Why would I trade you as a non-Warriors team for some shit I know you never wear? You don't even like it. You don't rock
Yeah,
it. You hate this shit.
I'm not gonna give you my high value shit for some shit.
You don't even like this shit, bro. I've never seen you leave the house with this shit. And I gotta give you some shit that I love? Nah, kid. It can't go like that.
Nah, it's not gonna go like that.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
one man's trash is another man's treasure, though.
Sure. Potentially. I just think that's how NBA teams are.
He's played 5 minutes at the half.
5 minutes.
Wow.
He started.
5
He started the
minutes.
game. Did he start the game? Okay. 'cause
He's 0 for
sometimes-
2 from the free throw line, 0 for 1 from the
You
field
gave
in
me
5 minutes.
You gave me 5 minutes.
2 rebs. He got 2 rebs in 5 minutes. That's a good rate.
Yeah.
It's a good rebound rate.
Yeah, it's solid, bro. I mean, again,
Damn.
man, they're putting this kid in bad, especially if you want to use him for like to get something back in return. Like, why not? You should have been doing this before this Jimmy.
Here's the other problem that if I'm a Golden State fan that kind of bums me out about this Jimmy thing. If management finally got it in their head that they need to do something dramatic to improve the team, while you still had Jimmy, it's like, okay, we're this 25-19, 25-18 team with Jimmy. We add a very high quality player on top of that. We probably, which is like, that's like a 48-47 win pace. We add a better play, man, we might be a 53-54 win pace type team, which we all know is high quality team.
Yeah.
But now if you do something like that, you just get back to where you were when Jimmy was here.
For sure.
Which is just
So the question is, I
barely
guess
above average.
Everybody's kind of dancing around or like thinking it's a no, like it's not even, it's untouchable. Do you try to trade Jimmy?
No, I don't think you can trade Jimmy right now.
I don't know how you get value for Jimmy.
Yeah, he's injured.
$50-something million on his contract.
He's owed
Somebody-
60-something
you
million
don't
next
think
year,
so?
and he's coming off an ACL at 37 years
You
old.
don't think nobody will take him that wants to sell tickets?
No, I don't. And I'm a Jimmy Buckets fanatic. I don't think he's the type of guy that moves the
You
needle
don't. I'm not saying move,
on
but,
ticket sales.
But I'm saying if you have Kuminga and Jimmy, and you have them both somewhere, and you can get somebody
I don't think so.
You don't think a team will take that type of package for a good, like a really good player?
I think a team would look at Jimmy's contract next year is expiring. There's something tantalizing about that he would be on the last year of his deal coming off of the ACL. But I don't know, like that would have to be just a bad team. And even then, they're going to be looking at it like, you want to park this money with us. We want something back. Like the guy's towards ACL. Like,
so you have no faith in him coming back and being decent? I
have faith in it. That's how teams negotiate.
Yeah.
They always try to make it seem like you're sending them bad and need to give them more. So
that's the thing, Jimmy. I think you could still sell Jimmy.
I believe in Jimmy. I think if he come back next year and Golden State has an improved roster, I'll believe that they have the potential to do something. I think
you could sell him to another organization as like, yo, this is still a really good piece to help you. Milwaukee? Could you do a Kuminga, Jimmy, and then try to get a Giannis?
No. Bucks fans would be infuriated by a move like that.
What Jimmy's done to Milwaukee the last 5 years?
Dude, a guy with 1 year left on his deal and a dude that's never shown anything in Golden State.
They might be
for the best player in the history of my franchise.
They might be a better team, though.
Starting the All-Star game this year. No, you can't do that. Man, tough situation for the Warriors. I wish Jimmy a speedy recovery.
So it's going to be basically dark days for Steph at the end of his career, basically, is what you're saying.
Maybe next year will be the last year. Also, another thing, it's been reported that people think this is Steve Kerr's last year. That he's moving on. That's why he's been doing the whole fading dynasty.
After this year's last year or next year's last year?
No, this season. People think this season will be his last year.
Ooh.
That's why he's just been so like, yeah, man, we had a good run.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it was fun while it lasted. Right. That's what people are speculating.
Right.
So we've been doing our picks reviews.
Oh shit, you got 3-0
for some weeks now. I was in a slump.
Damn, I'm still in a slump.
I was in a slump.
I would have had 3-0 too.
But last night, the Heat at the Warriors. Danny went 2-1. Paul went 1-2. I went 3-0. Just to update the standings, I'm now 30-16. Yeah. I am making these people rich, okay? Danny is 27-19. Paul is 26-20. We're all well above 500. You money. Everybody's getting paid around here. But just to review some of the picks, Jimmy more or less than 20.5.
Bruh, 20
he had 17 in 21 minutes before tearing his ACL. You had more.
I could have went 3-0.
You should have had that. Me and Paul went under. We got that. Steph more or less than 3.5 3-pointers made. He made 5. Me and Danny had more. Paul said less. Bam, more or less than 20.
Yo, Bam went crazy.
And a half.
Hey, he didn't even get
No, he didn't crazy this game. He went crazy before that.
1 for 13. 0 for 5 from 3. 4 points for Bam Adebayo, the Heat franchise player. And Tyler Hero had a DNP.
Back after that, though. He had a couple. He had 30 ball, 29. He had a couple good games though after that.
Tyler Hero DNP, so that was a push, and the Warriors won the game 135-112. Yeah. All right, let's get into our favorite part of every single show. That's our picks of the night, presented by PrizePicks, and this time we have the Cavs at the Charlotte Hornets. Donovan Mitchell, more or less than 4.5 assists.
I think he gets that. I think he gets 5 assists. I'm gonna say more.
I'm going more as well.
I'm going to go more.
Lots of possession, lots of driving kick.
No Garland. He has to make some plays, right?
He's doing his thing.
Is he out again right now? Or is he in and out?
He's out. In and out.
He's like, I don't know, man. He's all over the place, to be honest with you. Next up, we got LaMelo Ball, more or less than 4.5 assists.
He's on minute restriction right now, too.
Coming off the bench, huh?
Yeah. That's tough, man.
I like this more. I do.
I'm gonna say less. I think he gets like 4.
I like this more. Like him, Con Knipple, and Brandon Miller are developing.
Go more.
That's about
like a really good cohesion right now.
I'm gonna go more.
I'll go more. 4.5 is not. It's not crazy high.
Have a lot of confidence in what he's doing right now. Con Knipple, more or less than 17.5 points.
He's been balling, bro. He's been balling, but that's like I feel like that's not say high, but that's
he averaging 19.
He's averaging something like 19, 20 points a game. Yeah.
I'm gonna go less.
I was gonna say less too, but I feel like their defense ain't that great. I'm gonna go more.
I'm going more. I'm a Con guy. And last but not least, this is gonna be a tough one. Evan Mobley, more or less than 17.5 points.
Less for me.
I'm going to say less also, man.
I'm going to go more. Go against the pack. He might upset us and surprise us. That'll be our picks of the night, presented by PrizePicks.
The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into football action before next season. So close the season out right with PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5.
Football playoffs have been epic so far. How about New England and Drake May, baby? And LA and Matt Stafford? And can't forget about Sam Darnold and what he's been doing in Seattle.
And you know what's even better? We can build lineups for both football playoffs and basketball games. Drake May, more. Sam Darnold, more. And Luka Doncic threes, points, more.
New feature alert, PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. It's go time.
And you can find your community on PrizePicks. With the new social feeds feature, you can share your PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow PrizePicks partners like us and tailor fade our picks with just one click.
PrizePicks is so simple to play. Just download the PrizePicks apps today and use code NFG to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code NFG to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Look, man, there's a reason why every time we play pickup, somebody want to guard me like it's game 7. Some things just make sense.
They've been doing this for over 35 years, fighting for the people. People just like us, just like all of y'all listening.
When we say large, we mean large. Morgan & Morgan has over 100 offices, more than 1,000 lawyers nationwide. That's not a law firm, that's a whole squad. When hiring Morgan & Morgan, it's like hiring an army that has your back.
And the numbers speak for themselves. They've recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. Real results. Like in Florida, one client got like $12 million after the insurance company only offered $350,000. And in Pennsylvania, a client ended up with $29 million when the insurer's best offer was $500K.
But here's the thing. If you hire the wrong law firm, you might be beat before the game even starts. All law firms are not the same. And there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm.
If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan.
Their fee is free unless they win.
For more information, go to forthepeople.com/NFG. That's forthepeople.com/NFG. Or you can dial pound LAW, that's pound 529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement. All right, folks, let's get into some power moves presented by our guys over at Morgan & Morgan. Austin Rivers, okay?
Doc Jr.
Called out Rich Paul for suggesting that the LA Lakers should trade Austin Reeves for Jaren Jackson Jr. on his Game Over pod, saying, quote, he's got to stop that. First off, why do you even have a podcast anyway? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I got nothing against Rich. I don't understand why you have a podcast. You're not a fucking player. End quote.
That's crazy.
Paul replied to Rivers' comments during Sunday's episode of his podcast saying, quote, you're talking to me about basketball for this segment. I'm not an agent because agents can't have podcasts.
So this is Podcast Paul, is what he said.
This is podcast.
Yeah, this is Podcast Paul. When I'm here, you call me Podcast Paul. I'm not an agent right now. Because agents aren't allowed to have podcasts is what he says. So don't call me an agent for the next hour that I'm on this show.
So just because Austin Reeves is saying agents can't do this, he's saying, well, for this hour, I'm nobody's agent. Yeah. I'm just a guy talking about the NBA.
Right.
I voiced my displeasure about what this guy was doing. Just like talking about his clients' teammates.
Yeah, I mean, again, I said I know where he's coming from. I didn't see anything wrong with it until was listening to another pod earlier that a perspective was like his word holds a different weight than other people's. So it's like when you like what you're saying. Of course, everybody is saying these things, so it's not nothing new. But when you say it, it holds a different type of value, and it's like that's where some people have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it. Again, I'm not opposed to people having podcasts that are not players. Like a lot of people have podcasts. Again, I said this before. Not everybody deserves a platform.
Sure.
But I'm okay with certain guys having a platform. And Rich, it gives you inside scoop of what an agent's like. Max will give you inside scoop of what it's like to be a media head. So I enjoy that type of content. I don't mind it. But again, there's a line that you're teetering. There's certain things that you could not discuss. Should probably stay away from talking about the Lakers and trade moves. You could talk about other people, but I feel like you're messing with a line there when you're discussing one of your your biggest clients' teammates. So, but yeah, I'm okay with other people having.
Austin's agent ran up on him at the Laker game directly after.
They said they had a conversation. They talked about it on the pod.
Yeah,
he said there was no smoke.
Was his punches
he
thrown?
talked about it on the pod. He said
it was just man to man.
They just talked. He said he had a brief
to check
conversation.
in.
Yeah, he had to check in.
It was LA, so he had to check in.
Yeah, he had to be like,
he had to check in.
Yo, what's up? We good?
Damn, he made Rich check in.
Yeah, he did.
Damn. I think I love Rich Paul voicing his opinion and everything. And if it wasn't the Lakers and it wasn't LeBron, it wouldn't be a deal. But on the flip side, it could cause something like in the locker room too.
Yes.
Because like Austin could just be like, man, and Brian be like, I don't care what he say, but then, Austin could feel a certain type of way to where now they probably not talking to each other, and because sometimes it could cause
weird energy.
Weird energy, and so I could see them kind of like staying off that subject of trade. Because what if he do get traded? Because now all eyes are gonna be on Rich if they do trade Austin, right? So it'll be like, he manufactured that.
When anybody in anybody's camp, especially a big player's camp, starts speaking out on other players in your locker room, whether that player feels that way or not, it's gonna build some weird energy in the locker room. Say somebody from Luka's camp, Luka don't believe that at all. It's like, Austin is shooting too many shots, or Rui ain't aggressive enough. Like, he'll be like, I didn't say none of that shit. Either way, it's like, your people. So y'all must be taught. Like, they might not have that conversation, but it automatically builds that weird tension until they have that like those conversations you shouldn't have to have in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Certain things should be understood, and certain things, shouldn't have to be spoke on.
So, two things for me. One, people have a right to be upset because y'all have gotten niggas traded before.
But that's
in Cleveland,
for sure. That's
in LA.
That's without him
specifically.
without him even talking though. That happens when you become a LeBron.
LeBron and them got people traded.
That's when it happens.
Deion Waiters got moved out of Cleveland because LeBron was like, we can't win with this kid. Get him out of here. Ship his ass out.
Yeah.
The baby Lakers, Ingram, Lonzo, Josh Hart, all of these guys, they got shipped out for AD.
For sure.
Teammates of LeBron have gotten shipped out, what people would say, at him and his agent's request, to bring AD, his fellow clutch client, over there. You feel me? So when I'm not saying Rich is orchestrating that right now, but for people to be like, wait a minute, these guys have gotten people traded before.
Right.
I don't think that's out of bounds. But my main thing with what Rich is doing, you got to take your job seriously if you're going to become a media guy. Okay. Y'all been doing this for how long? You didn't wake up yesterday being good at it. You took it serious and got good at it. I just don't think Rich is good at it right now. Like,
that's
you might have you might have something interesting to say.
Maybe this is him trying to build his.
Well, in the meantime, you're fucking up. That's what I'm saying.
That's what happens when you get the reps, though.
Got to break a few eggs, I got to break a few eggs.
Why not doing a podcast before you get in front of national TV?
I get it. But, like, he might have interesting things to say, but he's just not good at media yet. I'm not saying that it's impossible for Rich Paul to get good at it, but if he was, this wouldn't have landed the way that it did.
Maybe
he would have done better at communicating.
How do you know he's not purposely doing this?
Because he's not.
You don't think he wants to drive this type of... This gives everybody talking about his
You purposely do it in a way that has the other guy's agent coming to confront you in public?
For people to talk about you and talk about your podcast.
Okay, cool. But that would mean that after you did it, you reach out to this dude and be like, yo, something's going to come out. Don't even trip. This is just controversy.
He said they had a talk. He said he talked to his agent. Well, I don't know when it was, but he spoke to his agent.
He talked to him after he pressed him, Danny. Like, if you're orchestrating this, you don't get pressed at a Laker game.
First, you got to watch the part. He never got pressed. He said he talked to him. This is his man's. They have a history. They spoke. They had a conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't a press situation.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
I get what
if
you're
you're
saying,
perfectly, carefully orchestrating this for clicks.
But you don't really think that Max and Rich don't know what they're doing when it comes to trying to get clicks?
No, I'm not saying that. I think Max is one of the most talented people in our industry. Mm-hmm. I have a deep respect and admiration for Max. I'm a fan of his work.
Yeah.
I think Rich Paul is obviously a compelling figure that people want to hear what he has to say because of all the things that he's achieved. Mm-hmm. However, that doesn't mean he gets up on a show and automatically is good at it.
I didn't say he was.
That's what I'm saying. He's not good at it right now.
Yeah.
And if he was, it would have went down a little bit differently than it did. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you.
I think in order to get good at things, you got to take them seriously.
For sure. I don't think he's not taking it serious. I think he's taking his lumps. I don't think he's bad at it. And I don't see anything wrong with how he said it. I think he worded it just fine. It's because it's not the message, it's the messenger. You would not have an issue with somebody else. If Max said what he said, there would not be no conversation.
I'm not saying Max, but what if it was like Aaron Mintz or something from CAA? You think people would have been like, no, it's fine? He's one of the most powerful agents in the NBA.
But if his main client...
Bartlestein comes out and trades his client's teammate, people would be like, what the fuck?
Maybe, I said it depends on who his clients are. Now, if they speaking about it, if he's talking on the Lakers and his main client's Jokic, they don't give a fuck. But if he's talking about Denver, then yes, it's the messenger. It's not the message.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make him bad because I just don't think that makes him bad because
I'm not saying he's bad, Dan. I'm just saying you're an obviously powerful person.
For sure.
If he was a scrub agent, we wouldn't get.
You're saying he's doing the wrong thing, like is what you're saying. Not that he's bad at it. He's not the right person to do what he's doing.
I'm saying when you're as important as Rich Paul, you can't just say shit. Like, people view you as somebody with power and influence. Yeah. So when you come out and say that, people have to take it seriously. If he was just some guy, some AAU runner type, a dude, and spouted his mouth on a podcast about somebody getting traded, nobody, you can't trade people.
Yeah.
But people look at Rich Paul like, bro, he could trade people.
He has power.
He could trade people. And even though, you and I all know, the clutch influence has kind of waned in recent years, especially as they move into the Luka Doncic era. I know that. But in terms of you're an agent and your client is getting traded on one of the most powerful agents podcasts, I can understand why people are like, I don't know, man.
I feel you.
But
on Rich? Yeah, like I said, I just think it causes tension in the locker room. I think, with the way, when you look at the Lakers over the years, with the way it's always been like a reality TV show.
Yeah.
You don't want to cause nothing.
There's enough drama already.
There's already enough there.
You know what I'm saying? So, I like it, but I don't like it. Like you said, Danny, if that Brown wasn't his client, I get it, but since that is your client, maybe it should have came from Max.
Talk about different teams.
Yeah, talk about different teams. But I understand what he was saying. Hey, and that could be a little power move because he feel like
they playing chess, bro.
They playing chess.
That's what I said. You think that he don't know what he's doing?
Remember I said a couple weeks ago remember I said that a couple weeks ago. I'll trade. Austin Reeves. If I want to get better, you got to trade him.
It's been a topic for everybody. He just can't say it on air and for everybody else to see.
Right.
But again, everything they've done is chess, bro.
Yep.
And for you to think that there's something going on we don't.
And think about this though: if they traded Austin Reeves and got Jackson Jr., we'd be looking at the Lakers like, oh, hold on.
We would think that was an incredible trade.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now you got some defense in the interior and a dude who can stretch the defense.
No, we would all
we might be like, hold on, the Lakers might be a contender.
Trade. It's a great trade.
Yeah, so it's
and again, I think, again, the validity of it, the person that is coming from, I think that all plays a role. You know what I mean?
It matters.
The attractiveness of the Lakers as a franchise. Again, like I said when we talked about it the first time, if I'm Austin Reeves and I'm in line to get a big-ass raise with the Lakers and you want me to get my big ass raise in Memphis.
Sure. But also, if
the Lakers, I don't like that.
If the Lakers ain't trying to do it, I'm cool.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been hesitant. They should have did it. Or like, why? What y'all waiting on?
For sure.
If y'all waiting, cool.
No, I feel
today's price and yesterday's
and
price.
Memphis taxes are a lot better than California.
Man, he gonna get a big payday.
Come on, man.
Listen, bro.
Come on, man.
Ain't no state tax.
Austin Reeves wants to play in Memphis.
He'll play anywhere they're giving him that type of money.
No, for sure. For sure. All money, like, if Memphis is offering him much more money, of course. I would never. I'm just saying.
Be in LA, of course. But
he'd rather be paid than be in LA.
Yeah.
But if they're hesitant and don't want to do it, I'm cool with going to Tennessee.
Yep.
I'll get the bigger checks in Tennessee.
Nah, I feel it. I hope Austin gets paid this summer. And speaking of breakout years, breakout seasons, the All-Star starters were announced. In the West, Danny and myself, we both picked Shea, Luka, Jokic, Steph, and Wemby, and so did the NBA. Paul had Ant and LeBron in instead of Luka and Steph.
Mm-hmm. I like the Ant pick, though.
Paul, you still love those picks? Bron and Ant still starting on your squad?
Yeah, when I look at this is interesting. I wish we can pull up our picks because I like mine's better than y'all's matchup wise.
Oh, okay. You think you just had a way better All-Star team?
No, I didn't say it was better.
Just matchup wise.
It matches up.
Because you got more defense with Ant.
And then I got
with Bron and yeah.
But then I got Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, on the East.
But it's Americans versus the Europeans. The world. So like you're gonna say something like, what did I say? I said so. My starters, if it was all American, will be Bron, Ant, maybe Chet. Who else I had? I had maybe Book.
Yeah, that's some. I mean. Again,
and Brown or something because I got more. I got the size. I got a little more size to match up.
Cage, Brown, Brunson.
But for the
I
West,
got a better matchup.
Edwards.
For the West only though. Do you think that?
But it's not West versus East.
No. Just
but that's
starters.
how they pick the starters.
Just picking the starters right now.
Okay.
So they haven't announced the rest of the squad yet.
Right.
These are the guys obviously that are just guaranteed. You know, from the fan voting, the coaches,
basically.
And yeah.
I'm from a fan's perspective. I like my starting lineup better for the American.
Bron being grandfathered in for sure.
Yeah,
and deserving of it.
Yeah,
like his numbers.
I think that was the biggest thing I saw online.
Minnesota's
People were complaining about
Ant
Edwards not starting over Steph
because Golden State's 8 and they're 4, right, or something like that.
It's Steph Curry. He's having a great season.
I don't know what I think about this.
Ant's averaging more. His numbers are supposedly better.
Ant's having an incredible year. I'm just saying, like it's
still Steph Curry. But
again,
if you're gonna do with that, it's LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like
I just think Steph is way more comparable. I think Steph and Ant are way closer than what Luka and Bron have put together as a season. I don't think it's comparable. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
But, you know, I would love to see Bron get in there. I told you, my bias is towards the older guys. I think the younger guys is like, bro, you got plenty of years to make starters and do all of this and prove your point.
If they did it like East versus West in the old school, I could see somebody giving up their starting position to Bron to start. But they're doing
that happened when I was
with Vince and Mike.
Yeah, that was like my first All-Star game. It was in Philadelphia when Vince was voted the starter and he gave it to Mike.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's a beautiful gesture.
Bro.
Ended up being a legendary All-Star game.
Yeah.
And what do we got for the East starters? We got
the ones we picked, bro.
Yeah. Giannis, Cade, Brunson, Maxey, and Brown.
That's what the NBA picked, right?
And then Paul picked Scotty Barnes instead of Maxey.
To start.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
the only other person again that I thought that would have been Donovan Mitchell.
Sure. I could see Donovan Mitchell making the case that he's having a better season than Maxey or perhaps Brunson or something like that.
I think they might be winning a little more than Philly is, but he's not having a better season than Maxey.
I mean, the Knicks are like 2-8, so
in the last,
you can't even use the winning for Jalen Brunson at this point.
But when it comes to numbers, Maxey's top 5 in score. Like he's having an unbelievable year when it comes to like playing wise, but. Cleveland is below Philly, actually.
Last 10, 4 in a row you lost the Knicks.
Philly's number 5. I thought Philly was below Cleveland. So yeah, they have no argument there. But Don is a more senior all-star veteran. Like he would normally get a starting spot, but because they're not so good, And Tyrese having an unbelievable year. Tyrese deserves that start.
That's the funny thing about expectations, Paul. It's like Donovan is having an incredible season by any standard, but because Cleveland is underachieved relative to what everybody thought they were going to accomplish this year, there's like a sort of cloud over his season and his perception.
But even if they underachieved and was better than Philly, he would have been like they're just way below.
Yeah.
Being at 7, you were at
that's
1.
crazy. You won 64 games last year.
Yeah, like you could
They're
go
on pace to
4 or
they're on
5.
pace to lose about 47 more games. 17 more games this season.
If you were at least
That's
a 5
insane.
seed.
Yeah, you going from 60+ wins to like 40+ 40
like,
wins.
bro, what?
If they were a 5 seed and Philly was 6, he might have got in. Like y'all went from 1 to 7.
And your
He'll
core is in
still
their
make the
20s.
All-Star team.
He's gonna
Yes.
make the team.
He's
He's definitely
gonna
gonna
make
be a
the
reserve.
He's gonna make it. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the
extra bonus
Scotty
being a starter.
Barneses and
Yeah.
the Siakams
Ingram,
and the sort
I think
of
Scotty
the
might get over
Ingram cases.
I picked
the-
Ingram, but I think Scotty he probably deserves it right now.
what are y'all thoughts on when you look at how the format of the All-Star game is, and you look at it's going to be international versus American? It's literally the top 5 players in the league versus the Americans.
Yeah.
When you talk,
And then maybe the other whoever else they add on that.
you talk Luka, Shea, Wemby, Joker, and Giannis.
I don't think they should be able to claim the Canadians.
Why not?
I
need
don't
a
know,
passport.
man.
So
I
Canadians should be.
Yeah,
No,
I
but
don't
they
know,
pay you.
should be
If
on
you
our
need a
side.
passport to
It's
get
the
there.
North American of it all. Like
If you need a passport
shared
to get there,
language, you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel a way about them being able to just snatch up the Canadians.
Yeah, for sure. But it depends on where in Canada you're talking about. Because
That's fair. French, Canadian, Quebec, and all of that.
Montreal,
yeah.
yes. But I think so I might be on your side on that. I don't know. I feel like
People
Canadians more American
I've
than-
seen that conversation sort of bubble up where the world is caught up and it's a big world out there.
the world is
Yeah.
better than us at the top.
If you
Without
want
a doubt.
if you want to
Yeah.
add all countries outside of America together,
world
yes.
is better than us at the top.
Yeah.
Like we're unable to produce an MVP player for years. It's been almost half a decade. More like
Who's
half
the last American that
Harden
won?
probably
Yeah.
over
Wow.
almost a decade.
That's
what is that
9
saying
years.
about like our
We can get Ant on there though. We can get Ant in there.
man? What is that saying about like
Yeah.
our
But again, it depends.
our basketball in
If you
America?
go by your stand, I feel like Canadians should be kind of like
Yeah.
America, like they did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like
they-
Shea
they-
went to
nah.
he went to college. Like he from
Went to
here, yeah.
University of Kentucky.
I feel like when I'm in Canada, I feel like I'm at the United Nations.
Man,
Like, come
So
on.
Russ Harden, 2018.
2018.
It's almost been a decade since an American player.
8 years.
And then before that, we dominated. Now,
We had
look,
Steph,
Dirk
K.
Nowitzki was the last one in 06
the last European.
before the Giannis run started. Damn.
Yeah.
We used to be a proper country, y'all.
America has passed us at the top.
So
Oh man.
I think
What are we doing wrong?
I just hate our culture in terms of grassroots. I think we got a
Yeah.
fucked up culture in terms of developing players.
It's too businessy.
Yeah, the way that they do it in Europe, where it's like you go to an academy, and you gotta learn how to read and do basic math and all of that. But it's like your job is basketball,
I just think
and we
I
teaching
think
you skills and all of that kind of thing.
I'm with you, and I
think the
agree.
academy system is
what
just
David
better.
West said was very, was some gold. But I think we have some players that have the talent, man. I just think the IQ is just not there yet.
But I think
And
that's
maturity.
part of it. It's how the game is taught.
Yeah.
You're not taught to really train your IQ.
Yeah.
You get these skill coaches and you play your 12 AAU games a day.
Maybe. I
and
just
do
think
all
they
of this.
value the young generation values different shit, man. Like
in terms of
what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's
You
just
know
they
what I'm saying?
spoiled.
Yeah, and they don't, the
They're
care
more
factor
spoiled.
is not there like it was back in like they're not as passionate or obsessive of the game like the Europeans are.
Yeah.
You know, they value different like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to do
That struggle ain't
weird
there.
shit sometimes.
That struggle ain't there no more.
I think
Yeah.
I think
know
part
what
of
I'm
it too is that what gets rewarded is individual play. Like so
of-
when you
instead of
talk
team
about
play.
IQ, that's not just kicking somebody's ass in a
getting
one-on-one
buckets,
basketball
yeah.
game and scoring. Like we need that, and every team needs that. That's a valuable commodity. But in terms of being a well-rounded basketball player, you got to do more than that.
Yeah.
And it feels like that's kind of just intrinsic to the European game. It's just like a team concept in terms of how they approach the game. And, most of these guys, whether you're talking about a Wemby or a Jokic, even Luka to an extent, these guys know how to play unselfishly, get off the ball, read the court.
Well, they know all the fundamentals. They know how to pass well, they know how to shoot. Maybe not defense, but offensively they know all the skills very well. They all play as if they're a point guard, and they're smart enough to be a point guard at every position. So.
Yeah, I would love to see our guys. I don't know. I would love to see a system that rewarded just smarter winning basketball, actually executing your pick and roll assignment every single time, understanding what you're doing on the weak side, strong side.
So, question, who do you think is our next American MVP? Who do you think can get it for us? Ant? Can we get Ant in there? You think he gets one in the near future in the next 5 years?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be Ant, because if it's not, we're gonna have to wait for Cooper Flag.
I mean, there's some young guys coming in, AJ DeBet,
maybe Cade Cunningham has the potential.
Cade, yeah.
And
I'm not giving nobody in college.
Jaylen Brown.
I'm not.
Jason Tatum.
You know what, man? If Jaylen Brown plays like how he played in December,
the way Joker and Shea are playing right now,
it's just tough.
We're going to be playing like this for the next 5 years.
Yeah. It's just going to be tough to match their level because, as Paul says, man, these guys are playing at all-time great levels in terms of their offensive output.
That rule, a 65-game rule, kicks in at some point. But I think Ant could get there. I think Cade. I like Cade. I like Cade a lot. I think he can get there.
Even Jalen, if Tatum comes back in a slightly diminished offensive player, and Boston's the burden shifts more to Jalen and Boston becomes a 60-win team again, I can see Jalen getting into especially the narrative conversation of somebody who started out as a second option, and I can see some narrative thrust getting behind them. But what Paul said is right.
The problem with our American players is everything has to go right for them to get MVP. They have to be the top seed, the very top seed. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Joker or Shea, they could be top 3 seed.
Yeah, Giannis.
And Giannis can be in, Luka. If Luka ever finished in the top 3 seed, he'll be MVP because just numbers wise, there's nobody that can match these guys. I mean, Ant is the closest one.
Yeah.
Where these guys are averaging.
They're doing
30,
every category, not just points. They're doing they average 8 or 9 assists, 8 or 9 rebounds, every category.
Ridiculous. And then now Wemby, he's gonna be in the
MVP
conversation for the next 10 years.
Every
he stays
freaking
healthy.
year.
He stays healthy.
For the next 10 years, so it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, it's looking bad for us, man. They're taking our jobs, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we going from all-star to just smoke. It's smoke time, man.
It's smoke time.
We finally getting some smoke from some other podcasts. Draymond Green did not like what Paul Pierce had to say about max players and who's deserving of it. Please roll this Draymond clip. Because, boy, did he get in Paul's ass.
No, it wasn't.
He didn't watch the whole. He watched the whole clip of ours, though. I feel like.
Paul Pierce says there's only 3 players in the NBA worth the max contract: Wemby, Joker, and SGA. Ant-Man not, Jason Tatum not, Giannis not worth a max, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry. You mean to tell me none of these guys are worth max contracts? So then what Paul Pierce is saying is he was never worth a max contract. You named 3 guys. And when Paul Pierce was in the league, Kobe was in the league. So he definitely wasn't Kobe. Paul Pierce spent some time in the league with Michael Jordan. Definitely wasn't Michael. Kevin Garnett. Definitely wasn't Kevin. Tim Duncan. Definitely wasn't Tim Duncan. So pretty much Paul Pierce was never a max player either, if his notion is what works. There are some guys that get max due to circumstance. But to say there's only 3, and also to leave off Ant-Man, if you want to say Steph not, Bron not, because of their age, cool. You can say, oh, man, I don't want to get that guy a 4-year max because I get it. But to say they're not max at all, just another idiotic thing that Paul Pierce has spewed into the world and that we must live with.
So here's what I think Draymond was trying to say in his argument is that, one, Paul Pierce did earn max contracts in his career in the NBA.
Yeah.
The max at the time that he played. What he's saying is you wouldn't say you were a Duncan or a Garnett or a Kobe.
Right.
So by your standard,
I
you weren't
wasn't
a max player.
No, not by my standard. I was not a max player.
Oh, okay.
Like, so if I do a pyramid of the tiers, like who would be at the top of the pyramid of today's NBA?
You said those three guys.
Shea, Joker,
Wemby.
and I missed Giannis. Giannis would be right there.
Maybe Ant.
Ant is creeping right now.
Yeah,
like he's like a slight tier below them. Like, cause like you feel like if you get one of them 4 players, any team in the league,
It turned your whole
they
franchise.
turn your whole franchise around.
Yeah.
Now I understand there's circumstances where you get the max, but if we did it like on just like tiers,
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't have been a max. Right. Because I probably was, Duncan, KG, Shaq, Kobe. Goddamn. We had like about 10 motherfuckers that was at that tier. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. And so, but like, if you did it like that, like, do we put Jalen or Jason up there with Shea and Joker? They're great players. They're my guys too.
Yeah.
But like, those guys
they've separated themselves.
They've separated themselves because they're in the MVP conversations every year.
Yeah.
I think Jalen has creeped up into that conversation this year.
You think he's a Giannis level kind of guy?
No, but he's creeped up into being one of the best two-way players in the game right now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about guys that are going to be repeatedly in the MVP conversation every single year.
I completely
yes,
understand
Steph
what
was
you're
that
saying.
guy.
Yeah.
Yes, Bron was that guy.
Yeah.
Yes, KD was that guy.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Yeah.
So like
Harden was
and I
that
just
guy.
and it's just like now what I'm seeing, and the reason I said that is because now franchises are crippling their cap space
For a guy like
for a guy that's not at that tier.
So are you talking about like a Franz and a Paolo Banchero?
That may get the max.
Yeah.
But like, dang, now if they're not good enough to get us to a finals, we're stuck
the
on a
Magic are
treadmill.
like the 7th
We're
seed
stuck
in the
running
East
in place
somehow.
for like the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so now what we're seeing the trend is guys are trading these guys. They're trading guys. They want to trade Ja. Because like Ja's a max guy, right?
Yeah.
But now owners are like, do I want to pay him the max to
On his
cripple
next
to
deal?
keep us?
Speaking
You
of
think
Ja.
he'll get
To
a
keep
max
us,
deal on
you
his
know,
next deal?
on the treadmills, running in place for the next
Yeah.
5 years, and so
understand.
that's why I said what I said. These guys are the true max guys.
Yeah. I think, okay, so where I agree with you is the Ja, LaMelo, Trae Young, all these guys that
And
will
they'll
be
get
coming
max.
off of their rookie max extension. Like on their next deal, which we already saw with Trae Young, no. Dead on arrival. No max extension for you. I'll be looking at LaMelo and Ja. Ja, one, he was like finished top 6, top 5 in the MVP before. Was looking like a trajectory of a no-brainer franchise, no-brainer. LaMelo, who the second that they could offer him a rookie max extension, they did. And then 2-3 years later, they're like, yo, he's kind of on the trading block. Makes you wonder, like, they're not going to offer this kid a max extension off of his next deal. I think teams, those days of teams just automatically going with that,
it's not happening
seem
anymore.
to be changing.
That's what I'm saying.
And
That's
I
why I
think that's
said.
what Paul was
that's
trying
what I'm
to say.
kind of saying now. Now that the money that got so big that they're like, hold on.
Whereas like Joker, this offseason, he's eligible for an extension.
Yeah,
gonna get
The Nuggets are going to be like,
I'm comfortable with that.
please,
Like-
please take
like-
our $300 million.
In today's NBA, who are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
Them
It's the
300
Shays. It's the
mil?
There's not a lot.
Shays.
It's probably a handful, maybe 10 guys.
10?
Bro, matter of fact, Danny,
Maybe 10.
Nico,
Name who?
dude, Nico
The guy-
and
I mean,
Dallas
are you
said
comfortable with-
Luka no.
Luka,
Yeah,
no. They said
Yeah.
Luka, no.
I know. But again, there is the Jason Tatum's, Jalen Brown, like Ant-Man, Jason Tatum. Like, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm paying those guys.
I'm paying him. Jalen Brunson,
Well,
I'm
they've
paying
proven.
him.
Like, the
Yeah.
name.
Okay,
10.
well, the 4 you just had, right? You just named what? You named
Okay, so
Giannis, Jokic, Wemby, and you said Luka, or you said no Luka.
I didn't say Luka.
Luka did end up getting a max extension,
I said
but
Giannis.
but
Giannis,
he
right?
ended up
Giannis.
getting the different. He couldn't get the super max
Are you
because he got
comfortable
traded.
giving Luka Doncic the max,
Like the
Okay,
super max.
the super max.
We got Giannis, Wemby, Jokic.
Yes.
I'm saying Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Ant-Man.
Okay.
I can do Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
I can do SGA.
We already said SGA.
No, this SGA. yet.
Okay.
Are we doing old guy? Nah.
Whoever.
I could maybe.
I think even a guy like Cade is like a year into his extension.
I could do Cade for sure.
I don't know what he's going to be in 4 years, but it feels confident that like in 4 years, it'll be a smart thing to pay him out and keep him on your team as long as possible. It feels that way right now.
I could do Cade.
And 1 year into...
I don't know.
Paolo Banchero?
No, maybe Book.
LaMelo?
No. Book. I gave you 10. Book. This is probably another 1 or 2 guys else, but those are 10 guys right there. And I even named Luka, but I could do Luka too. I could pause.
So all those guys, and this is what I think. Like, who out of all those guys you believe can be the best player on a championship team?
Probably at least 7 or 8 of them. Like I think. So, I mean, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum definitely have proven that.
Yeah, they've
Jokic, Giannis have proven that. SGA has proven that. I think Cade could for sure. I think Book could. Who else do we have on our list? Wemby. Yeah, I think good 8 to 10. Like I think most of them.
But again, just to reiterate, like
Jalen Brunson's the one that like he's smaller guard, so that's the one that's like an if, right?
I think somebody like Darius Garland, who on his rookie deal, his extension was considered a no-brainer max rookie extension. His next deal is not going to be a max extension.
No, he's been injured.
You comfortable?
He's a little older now. He's like 29 or whatever, but I don't think he's going to get some Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to get some
like
5-year max extension. I don't think that's going to happen for him.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Why not? He's still playing at a high level. He can give you. He's still pretty much.
There's a lot of guys.
They're gonna be like, "Yo, we'll give you 3 years."
Well, by your standard, no, but by the league standard, yes. He's the only one producing. And he's showing up every night. He's most available on your group right now.
I don't think they're gonna offer him 5 years at a max number.
You lose him,
but I think that's where we are in the state of the NBA. These guys are like, do I pay him the max?
Who you gonna replace him
or
with?
do I just?
I don't think it's about replacing him. It's kind of just like maybe I just move on from second round mediocrity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And go a different direction. It's not going to be a replacement.
Are coming in
he's
doing.
The reason why you're second round mediocre. I think it's the pieces around him.
I would.
Okay, so now I sign him to the Supermax. How do you improve those pieces?
You got to trade. Like again, I've been saying Cleveland needs to make a trade for all this year. Like
for another Supermax player.
Maybe so, but you got the 2 big 2 guards
not doing that no more. Teams aren't doing that no more.
One of each of those motherfuckers. Like either match up a big and a guard with a Jared Allen and Darius Garland together to go get somebody else better. Like
so here's my thing about that.
You got 3 All-Stars.
Here's my thing about that.
I still got 2, Evan and Don. You go get another All-Star that fits better.
Jeez.
The thing about, and I don't think that's a horrible idea. I'm just saying, like, we got to acknowledge when people complain about Cleveland's small backcourt, Donovan Mitchell's one of those small people.
For sure. That's why you have to get rid of
He's one of those people that's getting smoked on defense in playoff matchups.
That's why you get rid of one of them.
I know. I'm just saying,
but
like, he's part of the problem. Is what I'm saying.
They're all part of the
problem. We can't exempt Donovan Mitchell from why Cleveland hasn't taken a step.
I'm saying he's not the whole reason.
No. I'm not saying he's the whole reason.
He's the main reason why they're.
He's
winning
been part
games.
of the issue, though.
He's a big part of why they're winning games.
That's why I'm saying owners now today are saying we'll rather move on.
Yeah,
from a guy
start
like
over
that
for sure.
Instead of being in
I can figure out how to get back to the second round if I'm older.
I can figure out how to get to the second
figure out
round.
how to get back to the 7th round without your ass, bro.
Right,
but Giannis, I need to build some pieces around here.
I think if they let go down, they ain't getting back to that second round. Cleveland,
they'll rebuild.
It's gonna be some dark days for a while.
Sure.
To get another guy to
that's what I was talking about when I talked about those guys at the top of the pyramid.
You gotta get a free agent to want to come there. But before we go, there's one I wanted to tap on the Ja thing. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but his tune has changed a little bit.
He said he's one of the most loyal guys in the world.
My question to you is, why do you think that is?
I think there's something to the concept of go fish.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where you sort of test the waters.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, the waters are kind of choppy and cold, and it's nice to be on shore in safety and warmth. I think there's something to that, and I think there's a mutual need there in the sense that, nobody's dying to bring you in. No franchise is gonna trade for you and treat you like you're the best shit since sliced bread the way Memphis did your whole career.
Okay.
Memphis, on the other hand, realizes like they would never sign a free agent, a big name to come to their team.
Yeah, they get another
They
draft
would
pick.
never.
Yeah.
They would have to get lucky and draft
draft.
a guy as great as John Morant has been, as popular as he's been. So I think both sides realize, like, hey, you know what? The old lady ain't so bad after all, man. I think I'm going to make the marriage work. You know what I mean? Buy some toys.
Oh, no, man.
You know what I mean? Get
Buy
some
some
lingerie. Get some lingerie. Maybe we'll play a little bit.
Fucking
Spice it up.
Spice it
But
up.
we ain't leaving each other, man.
Truth after dark conversation. B, what you think? B,
Truth
what you
after
think?
dark.
What you think?
Why do you think
What's
he's
up?
changed his tune, Paul?
I just think, when you're in a position to make a lot of money, and NBA is looking like they look across the league, and they like, man, do I want to pay a guy with this attitude? So it's like you want to just like, you know what, it ain't all that bad, like you said, and just be like, man, let me play the game. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna be up for another deal pretty soon.
He
So
was
now,
trying to get an extension before.
yeah,
like,
he trying to get if you play the game, man, and you just be like, you know what. I was one of them players who had attitude, wanted to get traded, and I had sat down with advisors. I sat down with Doc. I was completely gone in Boston when we had that losing year. I was checked out, and then I had a whole summer to think about it and talk to Doc, and I said, look, man, attitude's been shitty, and I need you to be more of a leader. I need you to be more positive to the media. I came back. And even though we lost and we didn't make it, but I had a better year.
Yeah.
I had a career year pretty much because I changed my attitude. And then it kind of changed how people looked at me. And so I could see that happening with Ja.
For sure.
Like I said,
I think I'm with you. He wanted to go to Miami, and I think Miami wasn't really like.
Miami was not thirsty to bring this guy in.
So it's like, all right.
It's like.
But again, I don't think you could fix that's the same. It's the same. Like, regardless.
He's under contract for 2 years after this year.
The same old lady, whether you take her on a cruise and buy toys or not. At some point, it's gonna come to a head.
We'll see.
Nah.
I hope for Memphis' sake and Ja's sake that they reconcile and make it
go
work.
To counseling. Go to counseling.
Go to counseling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot of therapy not work too, but we'll see. I hope it does. I hope it does.
I went to counseling. It worked out.
Let's hope it could work out. So anyway, folks, that's our show for today. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe to the page. If you're listening to this on a podcast in audio form, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Amazon, you name it, make sure you leave us a review and give us 5 stars. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.
This has been a Playmaker production.